you
help
doing?
with something?
Yeah, I called dispatch earlier. They said to come down here and ask someone to do some civilian criminal complaints.
Right. What are you looking to do?
File civilian criminal complaints
But on what though?
on elected officials.
On what?
On elected officials.
Can I take a look real quick? Or can you tell me what? I just need to know where I'm pointing you to.
So last year, deputies took civilian criminal complaints on the body cam I have. They brought the officials here and they typed out the reports and they filed the complaints. So I just wanted to do the same thing.
Okay.
Because they never charged some of these officials, and one of them actually committed perjury.
Okay.
So
you want to file a criminal complaint?
Civilian criminal complaint it's called, yeah.
I don't know civilian criminal. I'm
So-
just gonna go with them assuming a criminal complaint.
So this
on
is
a
what
civilian.
this is what they did here
Okay.
last year.
Oh, okay.
So they
okay.
just typed them all out, then they took their statement
Sure.
and everything. But the charge isn't coming from the state or the deputy. The charge is coming from the
them.
individual that
Right.
filed the complaint. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was advised. So I even called in radio talk to the county DA Brian Seaman.
Okay.
And he says, yeah, go to contact the police.
Okay.
He said.
And dispatch said to come here.
Yes.
Just because we don't have deputies here to take complaints.
Yeah. So they
When
would
they're crime
call.
scene.
So they would call and maybe send some here, maybe. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to hang out, like, is there a bench still right there? If there's a
I'll wait
bench.
outside. Or want me to call dispatch and tell
No,
them?
I'm gonna call
Okay.
dispatch for you. I have a car set. I just
Okay.
need to know where to tell them to go. So
Okay.
I'll send them right to that flagpole
Yeah.
right here.
Okay. I'll be right
So
there.
I'll tell them
Right.
you're gonna meet them there.
Great, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Sit tight for me.
Sir.
How are you today?
I'm alright, how are you?
What's going
Did anybody let you know what's going on?
on? I just got a very
Vague.
vague synopsis of why you're here. You wanted to put forth some sort of complaint.
Yeah,
I
so
don't have the details exactly.
so what happens is when the government doesn't want to proceed, civilians have a way of doing
Doesn't
it.
want to what?
DA type thing or
It
no?
would be up to the DA to. That's why I said usually in these type of things, it's usually held within inside the court as far.
I understand
as
what you're
false
saying,
statements.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, if the DA wants to prosecute,
Yeah,
if,
yeah.
if somebody writes a statement and it's brought to the court and it's found to be fictitious, then it would be up to the prosecutor if they want to pursue that person for creating a false
Yeah.
statement. Obviously, when people, we take calls every day with people and they can write whatever they want. Majority of the time, it's not memorialized in video or audio, so we have you have conflicting statements of whose side.
Yeah,
who said
exactly,
what.
yeah.
So for us to say, well, no, you're wrong, so we're going to charge you with this. Sometimes it's not reasonable or
Yeah,
possible for us to do.
yeah.
But I can make a phone call and to let the boss know what the complaint is, and probably just document and send it up. The
Yeah,
chain.
basically just looking for the same treatment they got.
Yeah, I hear
And
you.
granted, I have factual information. They did it all off lies and made up stories because there was definitely you heard the officers say I didn't harass anybody. I have every right to. I'm a video journalist. I got a YouTube channel, got hundreds of thousands
Right,
of
I'm
views.
familiar.
I do that. I don't do it for a living, but I do it to teach people what goes on around here.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking for the same treatment and to get these statements filed and to send them over to the I'm running for town supervisor too, and they're using all this stuff. They put it right in the postcard, say I'm being charged with harassment. They use it all political, and yet I tried, charging them, but obviously they kick it right out, even though there was definite evidence of harassment, especially with the elected officials. But she's a government employee. They felt they covered up. The only thing that disturbs me too.
Officials were there, or are we made the complaints?
The Darlene DeCarlo was the one that struck me. She should have been charged with harassment.
Who's that?
The town board member.
I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, she's a town board member. She works for the Office of Aging for Niagara County.
And who else made complaints against you?
Oh, the three of them that were there were David Miller, town highway superintendent, and Mark Crocker, the town supervisor.
Town supervisor, highway superintendent, and then
Yes.
town board member.
Yeah.
So is Darlene included in the three, or were there three others besides her?
With what, including that?
At this restaurant at the time.
Oh, she was there. Yeah.
Okay.
She was doing actually physically, kind of pushed me in, and then she lied. She's the one that lied more blatantly on her affidavit. She says she's trained to de-escalate these situations. She's going on and on when obviously she gets in my face, slaps me, pushes me, and everything. It was just, it's so ridiculous. And probably what disturbs me more is there's 2 cameras in this restaurant. That one would have caught a perfect angle. The one was kind of back here, and the deputies never got the video. They got a video, but it was the one behind me with off, and they recorded off someone's cell phone. So it was like here, they got the body cam, and they're recording it. So it was a very low resolution where it would have paid. So there's a very poor investigation done on this, whether or not it was done intentionally or why, but they didn't get the other video of the restaurant. And by the time,
If it exists.
It did exist because the guy told me they have the video, but they were told not to give it because it was all being under investigation, the owner of the building, So it's, want me to wait here then and go talk to him?
Just
And
sit tight. I'll make a phone call. I'll be back in a little bit, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Up to the DA to, that's why I said usually in these type of things, it's usually held inside the court as far as
I understand what you're
false
saying,
statements.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, if the DA wants to prosecute,
Yeah,
if somebody writes a statement and it's brought to the court and it's found to be fictitious, then it would be up to the prosecutor if they want to pursue that person. Whose side?
Yeah,
whose side
exactly,
won.
yeah.
So for us to say, well, no, you're wrong, so we're going to charge you with this. It's sometimes it's not reasonable or
Yeah,
possible for us to do.
yeah.
But I can make a phone call and to let the boss know what the complaint is, and probably just document and send it up.
Yeah, basically, I'm just looking for the same treatment they got.
Yeah, I hear
And
you.
granted, I have factual information. They did it all off lies and made up stories because there was definitely no. You heard the officer say I didn't harass anybody. I have every right to. I'm a video journalist.
Almost convenience to me. So all I'm going to do is get everybody's information.
I'll just give this to you. Everything's all written here. You
That's
can
okay.
save yourself a lot of writing.
I got it right either way. You just hang on to that.
No, I'm just giving to you. I just made these copies for you guys. Here's all the separate
What I'm
charges.
saying is that hang on to them, because I'm going to forward this to the investigators, and I'm going to take care of it on their end.
Okay, so they won't do the same thing they did for them then, basically, right? Because obviously they didn't investigate it before, and they took their complaints because there was nothing to investigate. So it's like when they did the civilian criminal complaints form already.
Okay.
So there was no investigation.
Well, the civilian complaints go to the court.
Not when they did them prior. There was nothing that went to a court. So I was just looking for the same treatment. I guess I can't get it. So
I'm willing to send this up to the proper channels if you'd like to.
So all I'm basically asking is I can't get the same treatment they got and do civilian criminal complaints.
Well, you're not the victim in this case.
Yes, I am.
Well, the false instrument would not make you the victim. It would make the state the victim.
No. Well, same thing. Everything here, the state's the victim. So all the complaints,
Right,
the
but
state's the
you
victim.
can't file a complaint on behalf of the state,
Yes, I can file a complaint regarding any state law. Any civilian can.
but you're not the victim.
The harassment complaint. So it says the people of state of New York versus so and so, right?
Right, but you're the
So-
victim. So if somebody pushes you, you write the complaint. It's prosecuted state versus whoever, but you're the victim in that case.
So if their complaint was done the same way, what I'm asking. That's all I'm saying.
Right, but the charge against you was a harassment, in which case,
Which is a state complaint,
they're alleging they are the victim of an
Yeah.
offense.
and I'm the victim of the false statement.
Well, I depends.
I get what you're saying. You guys-
I would not tend to agree with that
So
statement.
you guys are limited in law, but let me just give you the stuff. You have no reason not to take it. Pass it to the investigators, and then go from there. And obviously, I'm not going to get the same treatment in there where they did all this for them, because obviously there was something fishy going on. It's not, that's my opinion, but just take them, and then,
No, you hang on to them. I have nothing to do with them.
Well, this is an investigation. This is evidence to an investigation of
Right, so
complaints
hang
I'm trying
on
to
to the
file.
paperwork.
Okay,
I'm going to forward this up to the investigators.
all right.
Okay, and they'll do their thing.
I don't want them to investigate. I want to file complaints.
Well,
Civilian, no different than this. This is a civilian complaint, not in the name. So if they do an investigation, that's the government filing charges against the individuals.
But the civilian complaints are when that civilian is the victim of an offense.
And I'm a victim of this offense.
But
No different.
Somebody filing a false instrument, the false instrument itself, the state is the victim.
I am the
not
victim.
You.
No, I am the victim. Because the false statement hurt me. And what you're being told is that the government officers serve as a buffer to protect the government, so I can't go after the government individually. This is what's going on here.
Okay.
When realistically, I can do a citizen arrest. So what happens to that? Were you told in criminal justice what happens during citizen's arrest?
What do you mean?
If I go and arrest somebody.
You can only make a citizen's arrest for a felony offense.
Okay, so if I choose to do that, who then is the victim?
The state is the victim.
Okay, but then what gives me authority to do a citizen? So it's the same. So same reason. That's why in the penal code, the 145, I think it is, says that I can file civilian criminal complaints. And the only difference that happened here, opposed to me going and filing at the count, because I didn't want you guys involved, is I wanted to just do it. Don't bother coming here. I'll just do it. And they took it, but then they dismissed it illegally. But a conversation, Brian Seaman, on the radio, he says, call the police. It's like, okay.
I've done that.
So I've now called you.
Right.
And I want you to do the same thing as what they did here. But obviously, you guys, the state wants to take charge of it to then control the investigation when I just want to charge these people outright because I have the evidence, I have the documentation, I have the evidence right here. So I don't know.
I mean, all I can do is offer to take the report, write it up, and then send it to the investigators.
So well said then.
Is that what you'd like to do?
You can, yeah.
No, it's not. It's not. I can. I mean,
If I want justice, whatever you think, whatever you've been told to get justice, yes, I want it.
I haven't been told anything.
Well, you just talked to a supervisor or something, right?
I updated them
Yeah.
or informed them on the situation that
Yeah.
we have. I wasn't told,
Yeah.
this is how he's going to get his justice, this or that.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
not uncommon where you have multiple people involved, where I can't investigate it right here, right now.
Yeah.
So especially for an incident that happened a year ago.
Yeah, I'm
or
not,
over a year ago.
and so you understand, I'm not asking to do an investigation. I'm just asking the same equal treatment they got. That's all I'm asking for. But yes, I do want to investigate it. So if you guys want to take it over, what more information do you need from me?
Well, if
to
you'd
go
like
further?
for me to forward this to the investigators, I'll take the report and do that.
Okay. So what more do you need from me to do that?
Well, I would need your pedigree information and then the information for the other parties involved.
Okay, which is all right here.
So, David, can you spell your last name for me, please?
J. Mongello.
Mongillo.
Giello.
Iello, you said?
1L.
1L?
Yes. Did you talk to your captain or supervisor? How does that work?
What do you mean?
That conversation you just had with somebody?
My lieutenant.
Pardon me?
My lieutenant.
Oh, your lieutenant. Who was that?
Lieutenant Cooper.
Grupel?
Cooper.
Grupel. Okay, thank you.
I just told him
Yeah.
the conversation that we had. And
Anybody higher up you can talk to or no? Or
in terms of
doing the civilian criminal complaint. He's just not aware of it. He's never heard of it before, or no? What?
no, this is the route you want
This
to
is
take.
this is the process he's recommending to do, right? Instead of getting these charges filed right away, you're advising me not to do that. You're saying I don't have the authority to do that, basically.
Well, the harassment charge
Yeah.
is a little bit different than a false instrument charge.
Okay.
So offering a false instrument is not anything that you could go pursue yourself and
Okay.
file a complaint against, and you be the prosecutor person again.
And that's what he said, or was he advised by an attorney, or were you guys advised by an attorney to say that, or no? Or that's something you just were trained?
This is the proper channels.
That's what you were taught, basically, right? Like when I tried filing the civilian complaint against the judge in Royalton, or the prosecuting attorney, I went right to the judge and handed it to her, and she's looking, she goes, "This isn't the way it's done, Mr. Dave Mongello," she says. And so we called the 8th Judicial District Supervisory Office, and they're basically, yeah, it should be done that way.
Okay.
So that's judicial. So there's something really shady going on here that should be resolved, and I just can't trust the government to do a good investigation to it. I mean, you can try. You got to understand that you're accusing town supervisors
prosecuting attorneys
Yeah.
of these offenses.
Yeah. With all the evidence.
Whether you like it or not, if your accusations to these people at that level have any merit, the government's going to get involved, as they should.
Well, that's why I want to file the complaint. So how it works is I file the civilian criminal complaints. That I was supposed to have the legal authority to do that. They then bring everybody into court, and then we settle it in court. So realistically, when a lot of these complaints you guys are called to, you don't have to get involved as long as these people knew how to do these civilian criminal complaints. It's just been hidden from the people. They don't know what's in the statute allowable to do that. A lot of times officers don't, because realistically it's just two injured parties. Okay, this happened, you violated this statute, let's go to court and get it resolved. The police don't have to get involved unless there's actually more investigations that should be done to find out if that actually happened. But if all the evidence existed to file the complaints and file it in court, that person's got a win-win case regardless. It's just, that's all I'm saying. And like I said, obviously I'm not getting the same treatment the elected officials get, which is totally biased.
Has nothing to do with being elected or not.
Nothing. You're being told what to do or what you're trained to do or whatever else. I can't go in there and have these guys type out and spend all this time with them, commit perjury. So the officers help them commit perjury, even though some of the officers knew they lied. They committed perjury. And now, I'm going to have to wait for the government to do their investigations. Will it happen before my hearing or after my hearing? That's the big question too, which most likely get washed under the carpet too. But
I couldn't answer that.
but what? That's my opinion. But need any more information from me or no?
Yeah, your date of birth.
7/17/66.
Good address for you.
The 5099 Day Road.
Phone number?
716-998-2572.
And then this incident occurred when?
Let's see here. May 10th, 2022. And what's the reason why you don't want to just take these and pass them on to investigator?
I'm going to have you hang on to those, and then the investigator can reach out to you and can take them from you.
So you don't know who the investigator is going to be, nothing,
I couldn't tell you who.
So officers can't take evidence, is what you're telling me?
That's not what I'm telling you.
Okay, so why don't you just take these?
I'm not going to take
Because all the details are in there. I spent a lot of time on these, figuring everything out. This way, it'll save the investigators a lot of time. You can hand them right away. They can look into it. Then they give me a call. But obviously, it's not going to happen, right?
Well, they're going to reach out to you.
Okay. How long before they reach out to me?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I couldn't give you a time frame.
Yeah. Okay.
I work the
understand.
road, and
Yeah.
I send cases to the investigators,
Yeah.
and I would assume it gets assigned to them.
Yeah. I get it.
And a relatively quick timeline, and then
Yeah.
they go from there. I mean, I
appreciate it.
I couldn't tell you it's going to be 12 hours from now, 24
Yeah.
hours from now.
I get it. Yeah.
What are the names of the individuals that Nicole Sands?
The prosecuting attorney. Yeah.
Is that ANDZ?
SANDS, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you said?
Yep.
And then what was the other individual's name?
You got Darlene DiCarlo.
DARLENE. Is that correct?
So that would be, let's see here. Where's her name? DARLENE DICARLO.
DICARLO.
Yes.
And then the other individual?
David Miller.
And that's the highway superintendent?
Yeah. He's the one that lied blatantly.
For Lockport?
Yeah.
And Darlene's just on the town board?
She's on town board and works for the Office of the Aging.
And the last person?
Mark Crocker.
Mark with a C or a K? That you know.
C.
Proctor, you said?
CRO, yeah.
Proctor.
What's that?
The last name, the spelling. of the last
Crocker,
name.
C-R.
Oh,
Oh,
Crocker.
see, yeah, Crocker,
Okay, so
yeah,
Proctor. And what is his position?
Town supervisor.
The Lockport, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just clarify one last time just to make sure that I have the details accurate for this report. So your complaints are against Nicole Sands for dismissing Darlene's case without due process. Correct?
Want me to go through the charges all individually or no?
No, that's okay.
Okay, all right.
So just
Want me to clarify everything really quick? Go through it?
if what I'm saying is incorrect, feel free to correct me. So Nicole Sands for dismissing the case and sealing the record without due process.
No. So Nicole Sands is, give me 195.05, which is obstructing governmental administration.
But the genesis of the charges is in relation to the dismissal of the charge against Darlene.
Yes, she failed to
Without-
prosecute. She
without
failed.
due- without
She
due
failed to
process.
prosecute the case, basically.
Right. So,
Yeah.
that's the genesis
Yeah,
of
yeah.
of the actual complaint here.
Yeah.
And then for
Then-
Darlene,
no,
David.
there's more. So there's Nicole Sands is a 49606 corrupting the government because she's paid by the government to do a specific job.
But the genesis
And-
of the charges themselves
Yes.
are in relation to
Yes.
the dismissal.
Yeah. So if you want
of-
to, yeah. So you want to quote that and then determine later, and then go on next.
And then Darlene, David, and Mark, the complaints against them are all in relation to them filing
False instrument.
depositions alleging you committed some sort of offense.
Yes.
In which the claims they made are inaccurate or fictitious.
False
or
and misleading. Yes.
Okay.
They violated law, and then Darlene get charged with harassment.
Well, she was.
No. She never. They never. No. They told me. The DA told me that it was never really charged because I didn't go through the police. So now I'm going through the police.
Well, she
So-
was charged if it was dismissed.
Well, that's just it. They took my civilian criminal complaint and they dismissed it. You're right. But then Brian Seaman said I should go through the police. That's why it was dismissed. He said that in the radio.
Okay. I mean,
So maybe we need to do that again. But thank you. I appreciate it. All
I mean,
right.
you've got cases pending against you that were brought by civilian complaints, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's the same complaint. It's why I was trying to get the process going the same way, no different they did right here in the office with two deputies typing everything off. And
Right.
I can't get the equal thing going, even though there's no investigation, no nothing. You're telling me something totally opposite than what they were instructed to tell
I
too.
can't charge somebody for an offense.
You are not
against-
charging. I'm charging them.
But you gotta understand, you want somebody again.
I get what you're saying,
You wanna
but we're
charge-
gonna
you wanna
go.
charge somebody with an offense that was already in the court and dismissed, whether you believe it was correctly or wrongly.
Well, the prosecuting attorney said on the radio that it was done. I had to go through the police. That's why I'm here to do it through the police. But
if-
they came to the police, did it, even though there's no evidence to prove I did anything wrong. They did it anyway. So it's just we're gonna go round and round here. It's just I'm done. I got to go pick up my son, and I appreciate it. And
Sure.
then
I'll follow the
thanks for
report and
taking it.
forward to the investigators, and
Yeah.
they'll review it and go from there.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
problem.
Yeah. Take care. Yeah.
Take care, Dave.
See ya.